Hi, good morning.
Morning, Samir.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so yesterday we discussed about
Morning.
what is the topic we discussed about auto scaling. I think we did the lab and we did the how auto scaling works, and we have configured the simple notification also to generate to your email ID. Devesh, did you got the output, the result? Is he on the call? I think he's not a join. I think today he has not joined. So yesterday we were testing about the auto scaling functionality. He has shared me the picture which I forwarded to you people in the group. So I think it was successfully working. Any questions till that particular topic? Anyone has any questions till yesterday's topic of auto scaling?
Yes, Samir, I have tried to configure load balancer, but it's a one node is working, one node is not working.
What is the error you're getting?
Error getting, I am just saying.
Amir, which WhatsApp group you
Oh,
have forwarded this? Because in the ATM batch, I cannot see that screenshot.
Okay, 1 second.
504 gateway timeout.
504. Okay, then you might have configured wrong port. Just recheck once, no?
So, is there any issue with the target group?
Yeah, maybe the health check port number might be wrong. What you can do is that post this session, you share me in the evening any desk, then we can do it.
Okay, okay.
I sent you the picture, okay, in the group. Okay, so yeah, so we completed successfully, EC2 networking, storage, database, IAM, load balancer, auto scaling, Route 53, right? Now coming into the small services we have. So we have something called as Cloud Trial. We have something called as CloudFront. We have something called as Trusted Advisor. We have something called as CloudWatch. So we'll just walk through with all these services. It's
Samir, we have not did lab of network load balancer.
which one?
Network
Uh,
load balancer.
it's not there as a part. I'm not sure whether you guys. 1 second, hold on. Are you able to see my screen?
It's a cloud release. Yeah.
1 second. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have only classic and application. So both we have tested it. Network is also same. That's no need to teach. It's just login, create the same EC2 server behalf of the HTTP, HTTPS, put the TCP IP. That's the only difference.
Okay.
There is no new something or something different or anything. No, it's very simple. If you share your screen, I can share you. 1 second, hold on. It is not there as a part of the course, but if you want me to show you, I'll show you. I'm making you a host. You can share your screen. I'll show you.
Samir, sorry to disturb. What about this auto scaling, this bootstrapping, scaling group?
So
Uh,
yesterday only we discussed no auto scaling. We have checked it. The bootstrapping is nothing but the policies what you define in the bootstrapping, and you have tested. We have defined that scaling policies. No, like average CPU and all those all things are the same thing.
okay.
So I have made you the presenter. You can share your screen so that you want to see the network load balancer. No, I'll show you that lab. It's pretty much same. I think I made Simanta.
Yeah.
Are
So,
you
are you
sure?
able to see my screen
I can't see your screen.
now? I have shared my screen.
Yeah. No, network load balancer you want. You are in right now in the what is this?
Yeah, I am going. So, did I create new load balancer?
You have the servers ready with installed.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Then you
There,
can click.
there is two servers.
First, show me the access of those data.
Yeah, one is here.
Here's the already. Yeah.
Unable to minimize it.
I can't see a screen. I can see only one screen.
Just now, can you see?
I can see only the Windows screen. I'm not sure if others are able to see.
Yes, it's visible.
It's visible, but I cannot minimize this.
See that window you can see in middle. There is a minimize, maximize, and adjustment closing window option is there.
The center of window on top.
Where it is.
Where your mouse is, na, just bring the mouse to the top of your screen. You will see that menu. The server name is showing EC2 54 175 171 252 compute. The total name is there. Just move the mouse left little bit, left, not right. Little bit left. This cross screen is already showing, na, besides your mouse. Or else you just press escape from your keyboard. I think it will minimize the shorten the screen.
It's not working.
स्क्रीन के सेंटर में जाके व्यू ऑप्शन दिखा हुआ उसके जस्ट आगे
Press Control Alt. Press Control.
Yeah, can you see?
Not yet.
No, we can't see.
Not showing anything. The screen for sharing, it's not showing.
You will get a share screen. Just share your screen, no?
Yeah, but it's not coming.
What not coming?
Yeah. No. Yes, can you see?
Yeah, I can see now.
Okay. So I have made two machines. There is one and second one I need to connect.
Shivanta, you have copy DNS.
What is the question?
So
Simanta,
You copy
this is
password.
Nanjanda.
Pass. Yeah.
Simanta, this is Nanjanda.
yes, yes.
I know which lab you're doing. What is agenda for today's
In network load balancer.
network load balancer?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
What is that you're doing? I'm not able to see the screen.
So I have configured two machines. So
Okay, one is
till-
in 1A and another one is in 1B, correct?
yeah. VM1 and VM2.
Okay, okay. No, no, no. Availability zone one is in 1A and other one is 1B, correct?
Availability zone 1B and 1E.
1E, 1B and 1E. Okay, no problem. Just show me the IP address, browse it and show me that you're able to access or not. Your screen is not there.
When the VM is opening, the minimize button is not showing. That's why I have to need to stop.
Okay,
and-
just show me the full screen once.
Use Windows T to minimize.
Yes. Can you see?
Yeah, just browse and show me that access of that instance. If you're able to access the website or not, that's it. The next thing I'll show you very quickly. You just need to open one more tab and just put the IP address and show me you're able to access the website or not. That's it.
Samir sir, in the meantime, I have one question.
Yeah.
Actually, is it possible to take control parallelly for one server for two machines? With two machines?
What is that? One server for two machines, matlab?
Yeah.
एक सर्वर है उसको दो सिस्टम पे कंट्रोल ले सकते हैं कि वैसे पहले एक प्रोसेस में तो एक वन टाइम पे एक ही सिस्टम पे कंट्रोल ले सकते हैं आरडीपी के थ्रू. Is it possible
RDP, if you install RDS services, you can access any number of servers, no problem.
No, at a time only one server, or one server will take 2-3 systems will take same control. Is it possible?
हाँ, RDS service install करो Windows में.
RDS.
Yeah, remote desktop services. एक role install करना होता है.
Yeah, this is showing.
No, this is your load balancer. Just show me, just just go to your EC2 console. Okay, go to the EC2 instances. Okay, instances. Yeah,
Yes.
the first instance, select. Yeah,
Yes.
copy that 34.224.63.110. Yeah, put it in the browser and show me it's working or not. It's working. Now, same way, copy the second one and also show me that it's working or not. So
Yeah,
this is the
yeah.
websites you have installed in two different servers, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, now what you want? You want to test the network load balancer, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now go back to your console. Yeah, go back to that load balancers on the left side. Create load balancer. Select network load balancer.
Yes.
Yeah, give the name. NLB demo.
It's the internet facing, right?
Yeah, NLB demo. Type NLB demo.
LLB demo.
Okay, you can keep
Okay.
it.
I have network load balancer. I have here.
No, what I said is that just give a name called NLB demo so that you're not confused what you're doing. Okay. Demo, DEMO. Okay. Scroll down.
Yes.
Yeah, here you select your availability zone 1E and 1B. Yeah, scroll down. Yeah. So you have your target group created?
Yes.
Yeah. No target you created, no?
Target group I have created. Yeah. But it's not showing. Yeah.
No, I think that is you have created the target for application load balancer.
Yes.
Not for the network load balancer, you not created the target.
So I need to create from here, right?
Yeah, either you can create. Yeah. Select IP address.
Target group. You don't need to change anything.
So you're selecting you're given the target name and target type should be IP address.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And protocol port TCP 80. Okay. And health check protocol. You can put HTTPS, HTTP, but you can put TCP. That's fine.
So which one I have to select, TCP or HTTP?
TCP you can put, no problem. Okay. Scroll down and click on advanced health check settings. Advanced health check settings is there, no? There, yeah. Yeah, scroll down. Health threshold value, how much? You make it 2. What is the value? It has 3, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, that's okay. Click on next.
No.
Register IP address targets. I will do it later. I don't know the private IP address of your computers. Later I can add it. Just scroll down and click on next.
Create group.
Yeah. Yeah. Now go back to your load balancers. Yeah, refresh that. Yeah, click on next, finish. That's it, create load balancer. Creating, no?
Yes.
So it is provisioning. So just wait for a few minutes.
Hello, Samir. Hello.
Yeah.
Samir, I'm a little bit confused about target group. Can you tell me what is the purpose of target group in load balancer?
Target is nothing but your load balancer should talk to whom.
Okay.
So it should talk to your instances. How it should talk to the instances? Via IP address, via if it is IP address, through which port? Through TCP IP or through HTTP. So target is nothing but backend to whom to communicate.
Okay.
Okay. Your website is loaded in what? In your Windows servers, right?
Yes.
Which is
Right.
EC2 instance.
Right.
Now, how it will talk to EC2 instance with some kind of a port? What port it is? TCP port or HTTP port? That's what we need to define.
It's like a mediator between instances and
Yes.
load balancer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, it will be provisioned, sir. It will not work. You need to add the listeners. Now you go to the notepad and copy your EC2 instance IP addresses first, private IP addresses. Go to EC2 instance at the top on the left side.
Yep.
Sure, left side instances. Yes. Now click on the VM1. Yeah. Copy that 172.31.48.123. Yeah. Put your in the notepad. In the notepad, copy both the IP addresses.
Yes. Now,
Copied both?
yeah.
Yeah. Add the listener now.
You may have duplicate load balancer port defined. Okay, it
Pardon?
means you may have duplicate load balancer port defined.
Add actions. No. 1 second. 1 second. So go back once. Yeah. Yeah. Click on that forwarding to NLB target is there, no? There only, the bottom, forwarding to NLB target. Click on that NLB target forwarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Scroll down. Targets, click on the targets. Go up, targets. Yeah. Registered targets is there, no?
Yes.
So register targets. Yeah. So here, yeah, put your, yeah, first select your VPC network and put your IP address and availability zone. Yeah.
Include as pending.
Scroll down once. Yes. Click on that include as pending below. Yeah. And add one more than the other one also.
Register pending target.
Yes. Done, no?
Yes.
So target registration is in progress. So wait for few seconds. Now go back to the load balancer. It's done. It's over. Go back to the load balancers. Target groups. Yeah, click on that NLB target. Okay. Click on the targets. Okay. So the target registration is in progress. Can you see that?
Yes.
That should become successful. Then it will work. We need to wait for a few minutes because just now you have added.
Yeah.
Refresh there. Just wait.
Samir, how can we check which load balancer application and which one is network?
He is done, no, there only. The load balancer, it is showing you, right? All the details.
No.
So from the load balancer itself,
In
means
lo-
when we have created the the load balancer group.
if we go in load balancers, there is two load balancers. So how can I check which one is application and which one is network?
Go to the load balancers there on the left side. Now tell me, what is the question? In
How
that
can I
type-
check
the type is
which?
there in the type. Can you see the type there?
Okay,
Type.
okay, yeah. Got it. Thank you.
So for network load balancer, we need to select the protocol TCP, not HTTP.
HTTP because we are communicating with the TCP IP, because your network load balance is nothing but talking with the TCP IP address. See, this is NLB, so it will take time compared to your ELB. Once it is done, you can copy that browser, go to the NLB browser and put it in the browser. It will take some time, it will work. Go to the load balancers on the left side. Copy that DNS. It's working, no?
Yes.
It will take time. This is compared to your what is that application load balancer. It will take slow, okay, and it's a round robin method, so no need to worry. Okay, you open in another browser, the same thing. Okay.
Yes.
It will work. Just leave it for a few minutes and you try. It will work. Okay. It's already working. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we move to the theory because we are getting late? Yeah. So this is network load balancer. That's how you can test it. This is not a part of our solution architect course, but I just showed him because he's asking. So we can go back now to the theory. So can you give me the control so that I can start the theory?
Okay.
Okay. So 1 second, let me share my screen. You're the host. You need to make me host. Simanta, can you make me host?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let us discuss about the services which we have free. Any other questions you have apart from this NLBs? So whether you take ELB or ALB or NLB or CLB, it's all the same. So all the load balancer only thing is that you need to make sure that you are registering the targets, you created the target groups and you properly configured the ports. That's it. It should work automatically. Okay. So as long as your targets are not being defined properly, then it will throw an error. So load balancer can be communicated via any of these ports. It can be the target can be if you're using the Dockers or if you're using the Lambda functions, either you can point to the Lambda functions or you can point for the instances. Because we are in the solution architect topic, that's the reason we did it on the instances. Now we'll be discussing about the small services are there. These services are basically other services we consider, just for your understanding. So we have something called as CloudTrail. So this CloudTrail is a service which is responsible for your API calls, auditing, whatever is there, everything it will audit. So basically what exactly the CloudTrail will do is that CloudTrail is a service which will record all kinds of audit information, means any problems in your AWS, like somebody did some kind of an activity. If you want to catch hold of those activities, right, Amazon provides you this CloudTrail. So basically the CloudTrail service, what it does is that it enables the governance, compliance, and operational auditing and risk auditing for your AWS account. So any account related activities or the actions on your infrastructure, like somebody did some logged in, somebody done some actions in the, somebody done some actions in the platform, somebody configured something on the platform, any kind of these kind of an activities will be configured with AWS CloudTrail. So AWS CloudTrail helps you with the SDKs and other things, any kind of an activities like event history or any kind of an activities. This is the solution what it will do. Okay, so basically the idea is that this is a solution which provides the auditing, which provides the tracking, which does the security analysis, which does the all kinds of compliance parameters to monitor. So somebody has done something from the command line, somebody has done through the SDKs, anything they want to do that can be done through this particular solution. Okay, this is one solution. Now what are the other things it will be done by your CloudTrail? So the CloudTrail other features are that simplified complaints, so visibility into the user resource activity. So whatever the user resource user activities he does through the API calls, nothing but through communication, through management console, through any kind of an account. So basically the all kinds of communication, accessibility, everything, the visibility will be happening through your user access and user complaints, everything through CloudTrail you can monitor. Third thing is that security analysis and troubleshooting. If you want to do any kind of a troubleshooting activity, if you want to do any kind of a security analysis, through CloudTrail you can manage. The advantage of the security analysis and troubleshooting is that basically when some user that did some kind of an changes to the environment and you want to find out what kind of a changes they have done to the platform, that can be done through this particular CloudTrail service. Fourth thing is that security automation. Security automation is nothing but which allows you to track, automatically respond the account activity like threatening with the security resources and vulnerabilities. All these things, is a security automation solution. So these are the different types of benefits what you get with your CloudTrail. So how the records information is that it will record through API caller. The identity of the API caller means who has done that particular activity and the time of the API call, what time that activity has been taken care, the source IP address of the API caller, and the response request returned. So all these are the things which the it finds the record information. So when you try to access this particular CloudTrail service, so you will get all these different types of information. So if you want to do any kind of tracking on your accounts, so this is the service which will tell you who has done it, from which IP it has been done, what is the API call he has made, the source IP address, destination IP address, and what is the response. So the complete information will be captured with your CloudTrail. So that is the advantage. And it is not enabled by default. You need to enable based on the region basis, whichever the location you want. And as I told you, the history of API calls to your AWS account, whoever has been done on the account, any kind of an activities, it will monitor. It also enables the security analysis, risk analysis, resource change tracking, compliance auditing, and what kinds of API calls it will do. The monitor basically, as I told you, AWS management console, any activity made through AWS management console, any activity made through SDK, software development kits, any activity made through command line tools, any activity made through high level AWS services, all these things, high level AWS services such as AWS Cloud Formation and other things. So all these activities can be tracked through your CloudTrail service. Okay, so these all are the features what you can do through CloudTrail service. There are so many companies are there who are using this CloudTrail. The best purpose of the CloudTrail, as I told you, auditing. If you want to audit, track user activity and API usage, that is where you use this AWS CloudTrail. So AWS CloudTrail can give full visibility on the account activities. If anybody want to do any kind of an account activity, this is the only one solution we get through AWS CloudTrail. So event history, so whatever the events on the on the AWS account, that complete history will be found, and maximum 90 days it will be there. After that, you need to share it to some CloudWatch logs or anything, you can define it. And this CloudTrail applies to all the regions. It is available in all the regions. So whichever region you want, you can define. And there is separate pricing is also there for the CloudTrails. So if it is a management events up to 1 lakh events, $2, they'll be charging. And insights, if there is any changes and everything, right? There is a, based on the events it is generating, the charge will be there. So again, if you want to store it to the S3 storage as the content, you can do it. So all these are the different features what you can do through CloudTrail. So overall understanding in a simple way is that to understand this service, there's no such big lab and all you are going to do. It's just an event history. So whatever the activities made, you can just capture those activities for your troubleshooting purpose. So once you enable that, you can find all those logs, and for the you can see who has done everything. That information will be provided that you can configure in your S3 storage, or directly through dashboard also you can see. That's the event log files or whatever the log files you want, you can define it. That is the advantage of going with this CloudTrail service. It's a simple small service which will be helpful for you to track resource changes and complaints for your auditing purpose. Okay. And next thing, we have a service called as CloudWatch. And this is a bigger service in AWS compared to CloudTrail. Basically, it's a monitoring service. So I think everyone might have been using monitoring service like Netcool, Nimbus, and other kinds of services, right? So CloudWatch, what it does is that it does all kinds of monitoring operational data, which can give you all kind of visualization where how much usage of the logs you're using, how many metrics you are consuming, what are the alarms you have defined, how much usage on your application, the complete usage platform, the complete utilization thing, everything can be managed and maintained by your AWS CloudWatch. So what the CloudWatch will do is that CloudWatch is a monitoring solution for your desktop DevOps engineers, developers, IT administrators, IT managers, and application owners and application developers. For everyone, if they want to monitor the real-time data like CPU utilization, memory utilization, network utilization, cost utilization, everything can be managed and maintained by your CloudWatch. So it's a monitoring service which will help you for monitor your application usage on your AWS. Now you will say that, sir, I don't want to use CloudWatch, I want to use my own services. Will it possible? Yes. You don't want to use CloudWatch, you want to use Netcool, Nimbus, or you want to use SolarWinds or WhatsApp, whatever the monitoring tool you want to use, you can use by yourself. But this is a feature which Amazon is giving you for all kinds of monitoring. You can use it, supports more than 70 AWS services like EC2, DynamoDB, S3, container service, Lambda, for any kind of these services, right? If you want to collect any metrics per minute, per second, all those things can be collected and managed with your AWS solution. This is called as CloudWatch. Okay, it will provide you the operational visibility and insight. So you can track the metrics, the usage of the metrics, you can define the insight of the logs, and all those things you can plan and you can manage with the help of CloudWatch. So the CloudWatch use cases, as I told you, it is meant for the infrastructure monitoring and troubleshooting, and it is meant for the time-to-time resolution and improvement. It is meant for the resource optimization, application monitoring, and log analytics. All these are the use cases of your CloudWatch. So CloudWatch collects and tracks the metrics, collects and monitor the log files. You can define the alarms. You can automatically react to your changes on your AWS resources, whatever the changes on your platform, whatever the application modifications you want to do on the platform, everything can be done through your CloudWatch. So CloudWatch monitors your resources such as EC2 instances, DynamoDB, RDS instances, and all your log files and everything. Now you will say that, sir, I don't want to use this CloudWatch in cloud. Okay, I will use in the cloud, but I want in on-premises. Will my CloudWatch will support? Your CloudWatch will support your on-premises also. Basically, you need to install the CloudWatch agent in your on-premises environment to support your CloudWatch monitoring. So you can create the alarms and you can configure the everything through your CloudWatch monitoring tool. So this CloudWatch logs will be stored indefinitely. The alarm history supports up to 14 days, and you can do the real-time monitoring, and you can also integrate with CloudTrail also for the compliance purpose. So you can define metrics as much as you want. So there's no doubt about it. You can create the metrics. So what do you mean by metric? Metric is nothing but CPU, memory, network, disk, operating system. Any of these things will come under metrics. So you can store the logs either through S3 or through centralized logging system through Splunk, or default log in the dashboard. So all these are the options what it is providing you for your CloudWatch. So basically, if you want to define any kind of a monitoring on the AWS platform, like you want to define a billing alerts, you want to define the server alerts, note down alerts, Lambda function alerts, any kind of an alert and mechanism to monitor your application and usage, CloudWatch is a service which will help you to configure on your environment. So what we did, that CPU utilization on the auto scaling is nothing but in the background using this CloudWatch as a solution. So for every EC2 instance also, you can define a CloudWatch as a solution. And then we have one more small service called as Trusted Advisor. So what is this Trusted Advisor? This Trusted Advisor is a service which will help you to provide you the the real-time guidance. So a service which will help you to reduce the cost, increase the performance, improve the security by optimizing your AWS environment. Means this service will tell you the complete environment platform of your AWS, means how it is happening, what is the usage it is doing, the real-time guidance it will give you. Means, right, the advisory board, every company will have an advisory board. So what they'll do is that it will tell you how the company is performing, right? The same way, the Trusted Advisor is an online tool which will provide you the real-time guidance for your resources. Basically, it will help you to improve your security, performance, and overall cost benefits on your platform. So this is this is one solution. So basically, how is your application security parameters? What is the usage of your application? Suppose if you used 10 databases, in this, how many databases you're really using, how many you're not consuming it, what is the idle time? All those things will be defined with your, Trusted Advisor. So, you might ask, is it a free service or is it a chargeable? So it is like, service limits are there. So basically this is advisory they will give you for the enterprise support. It's a free of service. Like they will do around 115 Trusted Advisor checks, like 14 cost optimization, 17 security, 24 fault tolerance, 10 performance, and 50 service limits. So they will do it. And this is basically for the, depends upon what kind of a service model you have opted and what kind of a support plan you have opted. Then they are giving you this additional solution, which can provide you the benefit of the guidance. So what they'll do is that they can tell you, suppose for example, optimization, you have used the complete environment, how much databases you're using, how much you are really working, and what amount you can save. They will provide you the recommendations based on analyzing your infrastructure, which doesn't mean that they will, install some software and all. Basically, it will scan, they will do a scan on your AWS infrastructure to understand and to give you the proper support. So if you say that you don't want to go with trusted advisory, you can go with your own advisory support. It's up to you, but it's a support from the AWS through API. You can refresh and they'll give you the complete availability platform, like, how much usage and what is the performance limits and what kind of environments you have configured. Everything they will provide you. So so many hundreds of customers are using this solution to save the money, improving the system performance, and closing the security gaps. If there is any security gaps or there, it will define and it will help you. Okay, so other than that, if there is any notification, suppose if any new feature or any kind of a new bugs are released, so it will give you the notification. This also will help you for the managing and maintaining the AWS on the advisory. So all these are the benefits what you get with the AWS Trusted Advisor. So you can think in a simple way that it is a solution which will provide you onboard solution for the cost, performance, security, and fault tolerance, which is basically for the enterprise support. They will provide you. So all these are the advantages what you're getting with the Trusted Advisor. And next, we also have, why do we need Trusted Advisor? As I told you, cost optimization, performance, security, fault tolerance, and service limits. So these all are the benefits what you get through your Trusted Advisor. And next, we have something called as one more small service, which is called as CloudFront. So this CloudFront is again a service which is basically in the first class I told you, which is used for the edge locations. So what happens is that whenever the user tries to access any website from different locations, right? So there will be a time taken to load your application. It will take some time to deliver that application load time faster. And it can be a data, or it can be a video, or it can be an application. It can be anything with low latency and high data transfer. So we have a solution called as CloudFront, which is otherwise called as CDN, Content Delivery Network. So what does this do is that Amazon CloudFront is a faster content delivery network service, which will help you to deliver the data, video, applications very faster. So you can see here, if there are different users are trying to access from different locations, what it will do is that content will be locally cached on these locations. And so that every time whenever you're trying to access it, no need to go to the actual server and download. So rather than that, nearest edge location it will try to communicate, and it will cache locally, and it will provide you the access, so that the application access or the content access can be accessed very fast. So edge location, as I told you, it's nothing but the location where your content will be cached, which, as I told you before itself, it's a separate to an AWS region. It is not something on the region. In India, we have in Bombay, we have in Bangalore, Chennai, Kolkata. So the origin also is available. So origin is nothing but where your files are being kept. It can be S3 bucket, or it can be EC2 instance, or it can be load balancer, or it can be Route 53 where you want to communicate. And Amazon provides you the distribution list, nothing but which can communicate to the edge locations by giving the name to your content delivery network. So CDN we call. So every location, these boxes are nothing but these are the edge locations. So whenever the user is typing in his laptop, so rather than going and directly talking to the server, through the edge locations, it is trying to communicate. So Amazon CloudFront can be used to deliver your entire website, including dynamic websites, static website, streaming website, and interactive content using your global network edge locations. And whenever you want to route, you can route with a possible best performance. So all these are the benefits of your CloudFront. So CloudFront will support you with all these things. So CloudFront will make, rather than having the load on your server, it will reduce the load, and it will give you the faster access and better performance for your applications. So CloudWatch is a one service for the monitoring. CloudTrail is a one service for auditing. Trusted Advisor is one service for the advisory board, and CloudFront is a service for content delivery network. All these are the 4 simple small services which can be used for providing the solutions to the customers whenever you need. So whenever your customers requires those kinds of a solutions based on your use cases, you can use these all services. Like for example, every time you might require an EC2 server for some XYZ application, you might need a monitoring. There you can use CloudWatch. Okay, and you want your customer has said that he want to track the usage, who is doing what kind of an activities they're performing. You can go and configure your solution called as CloudTrail for the auditing if the company wants to find out the audit purpose, right? Then the complete environment advisory needs a check. If you have a business account, then you can go with that business advisory check. That is also possible. No, you are using a lot of websites and the users are complaining there is a slowness on the website for the different location users. Configure this CloudFront. CloudFront will reduce the latency issues almost by 1/3, so that every application will access faster, because it will communicate and delivers through the local content caching. So which is already a benefit for the organization. All these are the benefits what Amazon is giving you through AWS. Any questions? Any questions?
Where can we configure this cloud trial service?
In
Can we
AWS only, it's one more service. If you go
on
to
premises? Can we do
AWS
that?
Management Console, it is not on premises, it is on your cloud. It's a cloud service for the account activity of your cloud. So you have the accounts, right? In your AWS, you have one account, it's a root account. And under your root account, there'll be so many user accounts will be there. So many people will be doing so many things. How will you track who is doing what? That is when your CloudTrail will be helpful.
Okay.
So
Sir,
sorry,
for
CloudTrail and
notification,
CloudWatch both are same, right? Means CloudTrail also CloudTrail is for the monitoring and log purpose. So CloudWatch also doing the same thing.
No. CloudTrail is in a service which will monitor, which will not do monitoring, which will audit your account activity. Okay. Account activity means the root accounts, the user accounts, the IAM accounts, whatever they perform the activity through command line, through graphical console, through these things, it will track those activities through the API caller information, from which computer he did, through which laptop, which IP address he did, what is his source, what is the return, what error he did, what kind of changes he did. That information, the security or the complaints or the tracking information, is something called as CloudTrail audit, basically. CloudWatch is a monitoring. Monitoring means what? If server went down, you want an alert to be generated, CloudWatch will do. CPU utilization is more, CloudWatch will do. Disk utilization is more, CloudWatch will do. Utilization and resource confirmation, or operating system performance, application performance, you want to track with the what is that metrics, by defining certain metrics. All those things will be done by monitoring. Monitoring is different, CloudTrail is different.
sir, for notification, we can set the mail ID or we can give any admin access.
You can define a mail ID, which email ID you want a simple notification service, you can configure and you can define it.
Samir, can you share this PPT?
You want this PPT?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
Samir, is there any project conducted?
Pardon?
Any real-time project conducted in this curriculum?
No.
Real-time projects.
No, I will share you the project. It is not as, if you go with AWS Solution Architect Associate exam, there will not be any projects. But if you want to do it something, I will give you the project.
Okay, can you please share in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah. You can do a live project. Try to do the VM migration from your laptop to your cloud. Now that is itself is a big project.
Okay.
Any exercise on Beanstalk?
No, I have not, what is that? See, in the other services, there is a DevOps service. When I explain you the DevOps module, then I'll explain you, then you'll get an idea.
So that is part of this curriculum?
No, that is basically which will come under AWS Developer Associate. But you will have the high level overview. It is there in the DevOps, which I'll explain you about Dockers, containers, and what is that?
Kubernetes.
Instack and Elastic MapReduce. These are small services as an overview they have given just to understand what is that service and what are the benefits of those services.
Okay, even with EC2 instances, there are Fargates, nodes. So I believe you can just use some highlight on those also.
Yeah, that is not a problem.
Thank you so much.
Sir, how can get the SAS service in Amazon?
What is that?
Software as a service. How can activate this service?
Software as a workspace is your software as service.
Yeah.
Amazon works more with IaaS, infrastructure as service, platform as service. Software as service, hardly you have very less services in AWS. Workspace is there, and what is that? IoT services are there. Some content services are there. Very less.
Okay.
So as you're looking for SaaS services,
Yeah,
then Google or Salesforce. Okay. Any other questions?
Samir, that's it. But I have some of I just required some of the information regarding ELK.
What is that?
ELK service.
Okay.
And Athena, Kinesis, Shield. Just a brief overview. That's it.
Okay. Elasticsearch you're asking?
Yes, right.
Okay. So Elasticsearch, I will give you the overview. No problem. What is the other one you want?
Kinesis, Athena.
Kinesis, Athena, these all are not part of our course, but still Kinesis, Athena, I'm already covering in the advanced professional course, but I will just give you what you need to do is that for these courses, you need to ping these things. Offline, you can ping me. Okay. Maybe on weekday when I'm free, just 15-20 minutes, I'll explain you.
Okay, fine, sure.
Okay. Yeah. But I can cover maybe next week. I can give you 1 second. I'll tell you. Elastic Beanstalk, I can cover you. Container service, I can cover you. Elasticsearch, I can cover you. Elastic EMR, I can cover you. Workspaces, I can cover. DevOps overview model, I can cover. All these things I can cover. But Kinesis, Athena, these all are part of the professional courses. Okay. But if you need just as a helping, I can do it on the weekday. Just ping me whenever I'm free. I will just give you a call and I will close it.
Okay. So, thank you.
सर डेटा रिप्लिकेशन कैसे करते हैं?
डेटा रिप्लिकेशन,
डेटाबेस रिप्लिकेशन.
डेटाबेस रिप्लिकेशन. ओके.
हाँ सर.
डेटाबेस रिप्लिकेशन अमेज़न में फीचर होता है. सो आपको डेटाबेस रिप्लिकेशन आरडीएस में करना है या आपको आरडीएस में करना है. तो जब आप डेटाबेस जब बनाते हो तो वहां पर रिप्लिका बोल के एक ऑप्शन होता है, तो उसको आपको एनेबल करना पड़ता है. जब आप रिप्लिकेशन एनेबल करते हो तो ऑटोमेटिकली सोर्स एंड डेस्टिनेशन में वो रिप्लिकेशन शुरू होता है. तो आप मुझे पिंग कर लेना व्हाट्सएप में, मैं आपको लिंक भेजता हूँ जिसमें सब डॉक्यूमेंटेशन स्टेप बाय स्टेप है.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
और याद रखो, रिप्लिकेशन is not possible for all the databases. It is only possible for certain database as a feature.
सर अगर उसमें मतलब जैसे एक डीआर का डेटाबेस है और एक डीसी का डेटाबेस है, तो दोनों को रिप्लिकेट कर सकते हैं ना एक दूसरे से?
नहीं, डीआर का that is not the problem, but the only thing is that database what you choose should have that feature.
Okay.
अगर आप Oracle है, Oracle में Oracle Gate is the feature. Okay. So वैसा आपका कौन सा डेटाबेस है, उसका फीचर अगर है तो ही वो काम करेगा.
दोनों डेटाबेस अगर एसक्यूएल सर्वर है दोनों का.
हाँ, एसक्यूएल सर्वर में है ना रिप्लिकेशन.
ओके.
Samir, in real world scenarios, like after in interviews, like what are the questions can we expect? Thing is that they'll ask, for example, we can show 1 year or 2 year experience in AWS. They may ask what were you doing?
So for that, first thing, what you need to do is that first you need to tell me what kind of a role you are trying to apply. First question. Okay. Question and answers. If you ask me what they'll ask, they can ask anything. Depends on role. Okay. So if you're going as a cloud operations engineer, that question and answers are different. If you're going as a cloud architect, that question and answers are different. If you're going as a cloud pre-sales guy, that question and answer is different. If you're going as a cloud enterprise architect, that question and answer is different. If you're going as an AWS security, the thing is different. So it depends on what kind of a role you're going. If you tell me that you're applying for admin role as an operations engineer, then I can give you list of questions what they'll ask you. Depends what is your past experience, overall experience, how much you're putting, and what kind of a role you're applying. So based on that, we can have one session for the interviews. So then it will be easy.
Okay, fine.
Samir, how can we know that for what role we should apply, like AWS cloud engineer or cloud admin or cloud architect?
How many years of experience you have, overall IT experience?
2.5 years as a winter administrator.
Yeah, so you would be your profile will be fit for cloud operations role or cloud support engineer role or cloud engineer role. Any of these roles you can directly try. You cannot try directly for an architect role. They will
So Samir, cloud admin or a cloud engineer, both are different.
Both are same. Admin and operations engineer is almost similar. Only operations engineer means who will handle the operation issues. Admin is nothing but day-to-day activities he will do. You can try for those things, but do not ever try for architect role.
So
if you want to try for architect role, try after 5 years of experience.
Can we get the list of questions for the interview so that we could prepare for the cloud admin role?
I'll tell you one thing simple. For any AWS interview, no need to ask anyone for give the question and answers, nothing. Go to Google, type each service FAQ. If you need EC2, type AWS EC2 FAQ. The first link you will get frequently asked questions. Each link has around 100 to 140 question and answers for each service. Revise those service, 80% will be covered in that only. If you are in front of computer, just go to Google. What I said, you just type AWS EC2 FAQ, AWS VPC FAQ, AWS storage FAQ, AWS storage gateway FAQ. All question and answers will be there only.
Yeah, I got it.
But Samir, they ask very hard questions.
Pardon?
They ask very hard questions. Like recently I have given an interview for Amazon and interview went near about 2 hours.
Which role you have applied, sir?
DevOps. Yeah.
So DevOps is something different what you are learning, right? So it depends on what kind of, that's what my first thing when Ranjit asked also, I asked the same thing. What kind of role you're applying?
Yeah, is it necessary to learn any DevOps tool for to apply for any cloud engineer role?
It's depends, as I told you, depends on role. So cloud DevOps role is different. Cloud operations role is different. Cloud DevOps means you should have a knowledge in cloud also, you should have a knowledge in DevOps also. Because so basically, let me explain. What is DevOps? Tell me.
Samir, so for you are saying that if we go for, because see, the thing is companies are asking out of the question. So that's why we need for storage, I think I'm talking about storage. I was trying to call you yesterday, but I got stuck in some job. So I was planning to give you a call today, today evening. So the thing is for cloud storage also, cloud storage also, they are asking the questions which I didn't found in
no. So see, what you need to do is that the easiest way to crack the exam or interview is that how many people search for the jobs through LinkedIn?
I search, sir.
I do.
I said, sir.
Yes,
I
right?
do.
So you type
So-
in LinkedIn AWS jobs, you will get so many different types of requirements you will find.
Mhm.
First,
Mhm.
copy that requirements in your notepad. Okay. Company 1 in AWS, what he's asking. Company 2, what he's asking. Company 3, what he's asking. See the similarities of all these companies, what they're asking as a service.
Mhm.
Okay. Because every role will have a job description if you read carefully.
Right.
So there you will get to know about what all services they are looking and they are asking. Now take those services and what you learned in solution architect associate and what is that services which in the market mostly they are looking for, compare that and try, learn those services which are, in market they're expecting. Like, some people will expect some kind of a tools, some people will expect some kind of an, additional, apart from this, additional, like Terraform, some people will expect for the, automation part and other things, right? Some people will expect about the formation, cloud formation. So take those use cases, what all things they're asking, put it in a notepad. Okay, some 10 companies you have taken. In all the 10 companies, EC2 is common. Okay, I already aware about it. What is not common? Take those points and see how I can learn by myself. Still, if you're not clear, if it is related to AWS service, always in the offline, you ping me. I'll give you some heads up and I'll give you the reference link just to help you, not as a part of course. Okay, because when you go for an interview, interviewer can ask anything from anywhere, because AWS is an ocean, and it in AWS itself we have around more than 40 to 50 courses, and the solution architect is the first course. So this, can you cover all the 40 courses, means practically impossible. But what I mean to say is that just do a research, find out what the market is looking for, what you learned and how much more you need to learn, what all different services you need to focus. Just take those points, ping me offline. Whatever I have data, I'll share you. Rest all things you can learn by yourself. That should more than, clear. So sometimes what will happen is that they will come into out of box. You can say whatever you did the old, you can say this I am aware. This thing, something is new. I think in our environment it is not there. So I will get back to you. That's it. But you know to bluff that, I know this, that, and all. No, not required. Most of the AWS people are in the market are comparatively new, hardly people from 2 years, 3 years only working. Okay. So because the cloud of Amazon market has picked up from last 3 years only. Before there was no AWS super pickup, nothing. It was slow, very, very slow before cloud. Last 3 years only, Amazon Azure has started picking up their market. Okay.
Samir, how site reliable engineer is different from a DevOps architect? Is there a difference with site reliable engineer and
What is
DevOps?
the question? What is the question? DevOps engineer and
A site reliable SRE engineer.
SRE engineer. See, DevOps engineer is different. DevOps is basically automation engineer, right? So first you need to, okay, anyways, next week I'll give you the overview on the DevOps, then it will be covered.
Okay, so we'll cover certain DevOps tool chain like
I will
basic.
tell you what I will cover in the DevOps tools. Okay. So what we'll cover in the DevOps tools, like as an overview, not as a lab and all, that we have other services. In that we will cover Elastic Beanstalk, CloudFormation, and Elastic Container Service and Elastic Search. These services are there, and EMR, Elastic MapReduce service. So these will cover as a high level. So with that, along with the DevOps fundamentals. So with this, you will get
This
some
also
idea.
cover certain GitLab
What is that?
integration. Certain Git
Amruta तो नहीं आई
implementation
है.
like
Git, huh?
Git or any code
किसके पास बोला है?
No.
operation.
No, that is
Sachin
not
Dedio
part of this curriculum. But if you want those to be covered,
Okay.
I need to take it separately offline. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for your time. We can catch up next week.
समीर सर,
हाँ जी.
सर मैंने एक पिन किया था आपको, मेरा रिक्वायरमेंट एक था, वो मैंने आपको पिन किया था, डॉक्यूमेंट्स भेजा था
व्हाट्सएप में.
हाँ जी सर.
ओके, मैं चेक करता हूँ. ओके.
ओके सर, थैंक यू.
ओके, थैंक यू.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
सर ओपन स्टैक का कुछ रोल है इसमें क्लाउड में क्या?
नहीं, OpenStack is different.
Okay.
OpenStack an open source product है. अगर if you want to implement open source product with the cloud, then you can do it.
Okay.
Okay. Bye, sir.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you.